In April 2020, Counter-Strike Global Offensive hit the highest concurrent player count in its 8-year history, about 1.3 million people playing at the exact same moment. It was the most dominant tactical shooter on Earth, and it had been for 2 decades. That same month, a game that copied its entire skeleton, 5 vs 5, plant the bomb, buy your gun, 1 life per round, pulled 1.7 million people onto Twitch to watch a closed beta. Not to play it, to watch other people play it and pray for a key. Here's the part everyone gets wrong. Valorant didn't kill Counter-Strike. 3 years later, CS peaked at 1.8 million players, higher than it ever got before Valorant existed. So both games grew, which means Valorant didn't win a fight, it found people nobody was fighting over. Let's be honest about how similar these games are because it's genuinely absurd. 5 vs 5, attackers plant a bomb, defenders defuse it. First to 13, you buy your weapons at the start of every round with money you earned last round. You get 1 life, guns are inaccurate while you move, so you stop then shoot. Headshots deal more damage, there's a rifle that costs a lot and an SMG that costs less and a sniper that everyone complains about. Riot didn't iterate on Counter-Strike, they photocopied it. The Vandal is an AK, the Sheriff is a Deagle, the Operator is an AWP that costs 100 credits less. Which raises the actual question of this video: if your game is a copy of the most entrenched game in its genre, a game with a 20-year head start, a professional scene, and a community that has played the same map since 2001, how do you not get annihilated? You don't win by being better at Counter-Strike, you win by asking who Counter-Strike is keeping out. The abilities in Valorant are not the point people think they are. Everyone says Valorant's twist is Counter-Strike with abilities. True, but that misses why it worked. They gave bad players a job. In Counter-Strike, if your aim is in the bottom 10%, you are a liability to 4 other human beings and there is nothing you can do about it. In Valorant, if your aim is terrible, you can still throw a wall or smokes in the right places and win the round. You contribute. You get to feel useful while you're still bad, which is the entire window in which a new player decides whether to keep playing. Additionally, the art style is a mechanic. Now here's where people undersell the cartoony thing because they treat it as a taste decision. It isn't, it's a readability decision. Look at a CSGO player model against a Wall on Dust 2, tan on tan, camouflage in a competitive shooter. Half of getting good at CS is training your eyes to find a low contrast human shape against a low contrast background. Valorant's agents are high contrast, high saturation, and each one has a distinct silhouette on flat, simplified map geometry. You can see people, that's not a stylistic preference, that's a skill gate Riot deleted. And the style did something else, it made the game run on almost anything. Valorant runs on a laptop with integrated graphics. That sounds like a footnote until you look at where the growth actually came from. The Philippines, Turkey, Brazil, Southeast Asia, regions where PC gaming happens in internet cafes on hardware from 2013. Riot didn't just make the game friendlier, they made a game that could physically run in the markets nobody else was serving. The last wall isn't about skill at all. Ask any CSGO player in 2019 what was wrong with the game and you'd hear 2 things: cheaters and bad servers. Riot led their announcement with 128 tick servers for everyone, free in every region, plus a proprietary anti-cheat running from day one. That's not a feature list, that's a targeted advertisement aimed directly at the sorest spot on the incumbent's body. And it works so well that people accepted a kernel level anti-cheat that boots up at startup, which in any other year would have been a scandal. That's how badly people wanted the cheating to stop. Design gets you retention, it doesn't get you attention. That part was Riot being ruthlessly good at distribution. Riot came in holding 100 million League of Legends players and a launcher already installed on their PCs. But the beta rollout was the genuinely clever part. The only way to get a key was to watch Valorant on Twitch and hope for a drop. They turned artificial scarcity into a viewership engine. Day 1 of the closed beta did 34 million hours watched, a single day record for one game category, and peaked around 1.7 concurrent viewers. Then it launched free-to-play in June 2020. Global pandemic, everyone home, runs on a potato, 0 cost to try. I want to be fair here, that timing is not repeatable and it's not a strategy, but timing only pays out if the product underneath it holds. Plenty of games got a pandemic spike and evaporated. Valorant kept the players and it kept them because of everything they designed the game to be. I don't want to make this sound one-sided because Counter-Strike's flaws are also the reason it's lasted 25 years. The opacity that filters players out also creates mastery that feels earned. The lack of abilities means the game is pure. Every round comes down to positioning, timing, and gunplay with nothing to blame. A generation of players finds that more honest, not less fun. And Valorant paid for its accessibility. Round outcomes get muddier. Did you lose because you were outplayed or because of an ultimate and swarm of abilities that cover your screen? The game needs constant agent balancing that CS simply never has to do. The skill expression is broader but also shallower. Neither one is better. They're aimed at different people, which is exactly the point. So here's the big takeaway, and it's not copy a big game. Every dominant game in its genre is filtering somebody out. Souls games filter out people who don't want to lose 30 times. 4X games filter out people who don't read a wiki. Those rejected players aren't gone, they wanted the genre, they wanted the tension, the strategy, the fantasy, they just couldn't get through the door. Valorant's move, stated plainly, keep the skeleton that makes the genre good and replace every mechanic that gates entry with one that teaches instead. Same tension, same economy, same one life stakes, but you can see your enemies, you understand your deaths, and you can matter to your team before you're good. That's a strategy any of us can actually use. You don't need Riot's money to ask who does the biggest game in my genre reject, and what would it take to let them in. And the best part, the part I keep coming back to, is that CSGO went on its all-time peak after all of this. If you were there for either launch, I want to know which side you landed on and why. I read every comment on my videos. I make games and I talk about why games work. There's a handful of devlogs for the one I'm building right now up on this channel if that's your thing. See you in the next one, and thanks so much for watching.